habits killing you. Habits killing you. We all know that habits determine destiny. So I want you to go ahead and drop inside the chat box what habit is killing you right now. Like what has been holding you back this year and maybe even in the previous years as well. Like think about something that's been negatively impacting your personal growth, your business, your relationships, whatever it may be. Just drop that in the chat. Now I heard it was actually a long time ago, but when I was thinking about this topic today, I wanted to share this with you. There was a short story about an old Cherokee teaching his grandson this important life lesson. And he said, son, inside every person, there's a battle raging between two wolves. And one wolf represents evil, anger, jealousy, unforgiveness, pride, and laziness. Now the other wolf represents good, love, kindness, humility, and self-control. And so these two wolves are constantly fighting. And so the grandson actually asked which wolf is going to win. And the grandfather said, the one that you feed. Think about that for a second. Feeding unforgiveness, impatience, low self-esteem, or any other negative trait, it only makes it stronger. And so maybe you're the kind of person who constantly complains about your job, your boss. Maybe certain things just get under your skin. Sometimes it feels good to just kind of feed those negative thoughts and release them onto other people. And I could raise my hand and say that I'm guilty of that from time to time for, quote, venting. Although it doesn't actually make you scientifically, physiologically, mentally actually feel better. But sometimes we do that. It's just a bad habit. But this is the truth. The wolf that you feed will always want more. So you got to ask yourself the question, do I really want to keep feeding this negative habit? Do I want to stay where I am? Or do I want to starve this complaining spirit and get to another level? Like if you start feeding peace, patience, kindness, humility, self-control, those character traits will begin to develop your life day after day. You start feeling different. Instead of complaining about your work, you got to shift your mindset. You got to start saying like, Father, I thank you that I actually have a job, that I actually have a business, that I get to trade. I wake up every day grateful that I get to live in this amazing country, that I get to run a business, that I get to go to work, that I get to attend church, that I get to raise my 6 children, although sometimes it doesn't always feel like a gift and a blessing. I get to raise it. You know why? Because a lot of people, they'd love to have a family. They don't have one. A lot of people, they'd love to have a spouse or a partner. They don't have one. I get to drive a car, not just a car, but my dream car. These are not things that I have to do. These are things I get to do. All right. So the power of habits. I'm going to talk about how the habits are formed. Maybe you grew up in a home where people were disorganized. They were slobs. They're always running late. Over time, you may have picked up some of these bad habits for yourself. So now you're doing the same thing. Maybe you were raised around people. They were harsh. They're sarcastic. They're rude. They're constantly cussing all the time. Maybe you unknowingly adopted some of those behaviors as well, which is why you do those same things. And now on the other hand, some people grew up in homes filled with positive habits, order, discipline, godliness, cleanliness. This is a home I grew up in. If my parents are watching this right now, they were kind of model parents. I mean, they really raised me in a home with a discipline and being orderly people and clean and on a schedule, being godly people, reading the scriptures to me, feeding my mind, feeding my spirit, which I attribute a lot of my success and where I'm at today from God and my parents. And so for me, organization was modeled to me growing up. My dad always had a clean closet. He always had a clean desk and he had a structured routine. So if you were here at my office right now, it's clean 100% of the time. My home office is clean 100% of the time. My closet is very organized. My car, it's always clean. It's never dirty. It's just in my blood, okay? Now, some people, they have the habit of, they wake up at a consistent time every single day. I'm one of those people. They go to bed early to allow their body rest. Jesus said early to bed, early to rise. Good habits lead to success. Bad habits lead to destruction in our lives. And this is part of my message that I want to give you guys today. In fact, there was a study that 90% of our daily behavior is based upon our habits. Think about it. It's almost like your subconscious mind, you're kind of running on autopilot. I mean, like when I drive to work every day, I don't even have to think about it. It's like my car knows exactly where it needs to turn after dropping off my kids at school. It's like it's on autopilot. So if you want your life to change, that means you got to kind of change those habits, right? So if you want that to change, you got to change habits one at a time. Now, how we treat people, how we talk to people, how we spend our money, what we watch, especially on social media, what we listen to 90% of the time, it's autopilot. If I were to pull up my phone right now and I were to show you YouTube, all of mine is personal development. Now, occasionally I'll watch some videos people send me that are funny and stuff like that. But other than that, I pretty much just do personal development. And I really think the way I feel, the way I act, the results I'm getting in my life is because of that. I'm constantly feeding my mind with good information. So it's become a habit. I don't even have to think about it. So if you want to change your life, start consciously changing your habits. You got to take inventory of your habits. You got to ask yourself, do I tend to be negative in my thoughts and my conversations? Is that a habit? Do I constantly worry? Do I overeat? Do I oversleep? You know, years ago I struggled, and this was, I would probably say back in high school. I kind of focused on the negativity of school and having to do homework and going to practice. Now, I love playing sports, but I didn't like practice. But when I turned 19, I made this decision. This is really once I got into personal development. I made a decision to change and to start being a more optimistic person. And so the bottom line is that successful people develop better habits. And that's why professional golfers hit golf balls every single day, not once a week. Like, it's no wonder that they're successful. They're doing it every day. They practice daily. They develop these winning habits. And so punctuality and discipline. Let's say that you have a bad habit. You're always late for work. It's time to change that behavior. You got to stop saying, I'm just always late. I'm a late person. I'm not disciplined. I don't have a schedule. You can change that. Don't say that this is the way I grew up. Don't blame the family. Don't blame. Look, you're talking about 1992. Stop talking about what happened back then. You have the rest. Like, you don't want to say that 80 years of your life is dependent on 10 to 15 years of when you grew up. It's like, that's kind of pathetic, to be honest. Like, people who succeed in life, they're usually on time. Now, you can sit and argue with me all you want, but most people that are succeeding, they are on time people. Now, if you're always late, start waking up earlier. Set the alarm. Commit to being out of bed 15 minutes earlier. If you're always 15 minutes late, I'm just going to put my alarm back 15 minutes earlier. Now, let me give you a caveat, a little disclaimer to that. If you set it back, that doesn't mean you hit the snooze button for another 15 minutes. You're still going to be late. You make that decision that when the alarm goes off, I get up. That's what I do. When my alarm goes off, I immediately click on it and I'm up. There's no laying back in bed, okay? I want you guys to write this down. People who get ahead in life, they usually get there on time. Okay? Our habits become a part of our character. So if you allow yourself to be disorganized, you're constantly late, that is going to become a part of who you are. And guess what? I got to be honest with you guys. And I know that you don't want to hear this. It's fetching annoying to the people like myself who are this way when you are always late. Always disorganized. You say something and you don't do it. You make commitments and you don't follow through. It's fetching annoying. And it can't make you feel good either. Your self-esteem is not going to be good, right? You're not going to feel good about yourself if you're a slob, if you're disorganized, and you always show up late. The good news is that all habits can be changed. You want proof? Let me give you guys some proof, because you don't believe this. You're saying, well, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know my situation. If I gave you $1 million this week to start waking up on time, would you do it? Yes. You know why? Value. If your boss said that you're not at work at 7 o'clock every morning, would you be there at 7? He says you're going to get fired if you don't. I bet you'd be there at 6:55. Why? Value. You want the paycheck. All right? When the pain to stay the same is greater than the pain to change, that's when you change. You need different values. You need different standards. You got to change the bad habits. Stop feeding the bad habits. Starve the bad habits into submission. Start feeding the good habits. I actually heard somebody once say that bad habits are easy to develop, but they're hard to live with. Like a person could just say, look, I like laying around. I like watching TV. I like watching social media. You may say that, but at some point, you get tired and sick and tired of losing, getting a participant trophy. All right? You just get tired. Now, you may say that you like that, but progress equals happiness. When you're stagnant, when you're not making, progress in your life, it's probably like you're not going to be very happy. Like it's easy to spend money you don't have, put it on a credit card, charge everything on the cards, right? It's easy to give in to temptation, but here's the consequences. They're hard to live with. Like it is hard to live in a home that is filled with stress, it's strife, debt, with the pressure of not being able to pay your bills. That's hard. The guilt of poor decisions that we're making in our life. Good habits, on the other hand, those are hard to develop, but they're easy to live with. See, I like the way I live. Getting up early, cranking through the day, getting through my list, smashing the goals. Winning is fun more than fun is fun. I stole that from Ed Milet. Winning is fun more than fun is fun. I'm not focused on fun. I'm focused on progress. I'm focused on championships. You know who's having fun today? Michael Jordan behind me, worth over $3 billion. He ain't going to run out of money. You think that he was glad that he was disciplined? Heck yeah, because now everyone's wearing his shoes. All right? It is easy to live in a home that is filled with peace and harmony. I know this from experience with 6 children. We strive for an atmosphere of peace, and it is not always easy on a daily basis. Now, does that mean that it's going to be perfect all the time for you guys? No, of course not. But the habits that we develop to create an environment where peace is possible, it's absolutely worth it. You got to push past the pain of change. If you are willing to be uncomfortable for a little while, just a season, your life is going to be so much better in the long term because pain doesn't last forever. Once you develop a new habit, the pain eventually disappears. And this is why so many people experience soreness when they're working out all the time. It is painful in the beginning, but once they push through, the habit becomes second nature. For me, going to the gym, it ain't a debate. I'm going. I don't wake up in the morning and say, should I work out today? I'm working out today. I don't care how busy it is. I just go do it. 31 straight years of working out. It is a habit. It does not take motivation. It's just a part of my routine. For 31 years, I have developed this habit. It has changed my life. I feel better about myself. Now, the same applies for morning motivation calls like I do this. Okay, every day I show up. I don't question whether I should do these calls. It is a habit, and it has transformed my life just as it's transformed some of your guys' lives. Okay, look, if you're willing to do the things that others won't, life will become easier for you. I stole that from Jim Rohn. If you do what is hard, life will be easy. If you do what is easy, life will be hard. I can promise you, I can guarantee it's literally a guaranteed stamp. If you do what's easy, life will be hard. I hope this message has been helpful. I hope that you guys take action today, that you start changing your habits today. I remember a guy, I won't give his name, but it was Thomas S. Monson. He said that decisions and habits determine destiny. Decisions, habits determine destiny. Hope that you guys have an amazing week. This has been episode number 1299. This is Brandon Boyd signing off. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next session. Thanks, everyone.